Hi everybody and welcome to your TorFX weekly market update. It's the 26th of April 2016. I'm Nathan Bray, I'll be your host. Well, the Brexit is dominating the news cycle at the moment, so we're going to take a close look at the pound sterling. We'll also examine the Aussie dollar ahead of next week's upcoming federal budget, and we'll look at all the major news events coming out this week and what to expect in the markets from the week ahead. But first of all, let's have a look at the big news out of China.
Big news coming out of China last week with the launch of the Shanghai Gold Exchange. So in effect, it will allow China to have a yuan-denominated gold price fix. And it's good timing too, because when you have a look at Deutsche Bank here, they've had to admit that they were rigging the gold and silver prices since about 2011 in collusion with other banks. So it could be good timing to bring some stability into the precious metals market with the launch of that Shanghai Gold Exchange. It also allows us to get a better understanding of the true value of the US dollar when you're normally comparing it against, say, weak zones like the Eurozone and, of course, the Japanese yen, who are all at negative interest rates. When you compared it to gold, it looked very strong, but now we find out that, in fact, the gold market had been rigged to the downside. All right, let's look ahead for the news this week, and we've got some core durable goods orders coming out on the US, as well as moving on to Wednesday. You've got consumer confidence, and important for Australia will be these CPI figures, which are expected to be remaining fairly steady. And then later in the evening, then it becomes all about GDP figures and monetary policy, as we have the pound GDP figures coming out a little weaker than previous. And as we move into Thursday, it's the monetary policy coming out on this US dollar. The federal funds rate, it's about a 2% chance, according to a survey of economists, suggesting there won't be an interest rate rise there, and it will stay steady at just under 0.5%. Official cash rate on New Zealand, and then the Japanese yen. The Japanese monetary policy statements and the Bank of Japan outlook is coming out, as well as a BOJ press conference. Are we going to see more surprises there? And then finally, you've got your advanced GDP figures and your unemployment claims coming out on the US. So a fairly busy Thursday there for the markets. Let's start by looking at the pound and the hysteria that I find going around about this Brexit. We had Obama weigh in last night telling the British people that it could take 10 years to somehow come up with a trade deal, and he's warning that they really have to stay. But what I want to look at are probably more of the facts, and the facts are, even in the 2008-9 crisis, the Eurozone crisis in 2010, down here around this 142 level, it's seen as very good value going all the way back to the 1990s, and the market's showing us now that it's definitely rejecting moving below that level at the moment. All right, finally, let's have a look at the Aussie. So the Aussie dollar, looking at this Aussie dollar right now, you can see it's having trouble staying above this 77.21 resistance level. Don't get me wrong, it is still in a strong uptrend, putting in higher tops and bottoms, but for me it's all going to be about whether it can hold above this 77.21 level, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then when we look at the Aussie against the Japanese yen, you can see on a weekly here, it's right up at a major level of resistance. So some failure here, and I think this momentum on the Aussie might stall.
Well, that's all from me. I look forward to speaking to you next week. This is Nathan Bray from TorFX.